Foxeer Predator Micro is the new high-performance CMOS FPV camera which uses the same image sensor and processor as its bigger mini version. Predator Micro supports from 5 to 40 volts, has 4:3 aspect ratio and offers 1000 TV lines resolution with the wide 1.8mm lens. Manufacturer claims that it offers unprecedented super wide dynamic range, which allows you to fly from dark to sunny areas without being blinded. Let's open the box and see what is inside. So it has some welcome message, then there is a camera. It also includes manual, which explains you how to adjust settings and use FPV OSD setup. It also includes camera mount, some mounting hardware, wires for the camera, and OSD controller. Camera wire has special connector which goes into the camera, and then another connector which you can use to connect OSD controller. So then you can press buttons as menu up, down, left, right in order to change camera settings. Let's look at Predator Micro a little bit closer. Camera has very good looking shiny plastic housing. At the back it has logic board and connector for the wire. It's too bad they don't use two connectors at the back of the camera, but then at the same time the connector it comes with has special wire which will allow you to access OSD even when it's installed in the drone. Let's measure Predator Micro now. Mounting distance is 19mm, width of the logic board is approximately 18mm, and height is also around 18mm. The length from logic board to the lens is 21.5mm, and the distance from the connector to the lens is 25mm. Let's check the weight of the camera now. And it is approximately 6 grams, which is very similar to other micro cameras. Now we are going to check latency of the camera by recording the timer by looking at it through FPV monitor. So then you can simply pause the video and see the difference in numbers between monitor and the timer. Okay, and from what I can tell, latency looks really tiny and it seems to vary from 0 to 3 milliseconds. One of the cons of this camera that default settings are not ideal in my opinion. But one of the pros of this camera is you can easily attach OSD controller and change the settings to your likings. Let's check FPV clip I made with this SN 2-inch with default settings. As you can see, color looks oversaturated and sky has some kind of weird color. Then I increased my brightness too much, so it was a little bit hard to fly, but DVR seems to be fine. Let's check it out. So later I decided to play with the settings a little bit more and tried to adjust them to match real world a little bit better. Let's check the settings I came up with. And here's how FPV looked like in this case. Although I think it looked really nice, next day it was a bit dark and I decided to play with settings a little bit more. Let's check them out. And then I took it for a flight. I liked both of my previous settings, but I decided to keep the last settings for now and see how it goes. So to conclude this settings adventure, I would say that it would have been better if Foxeer spent a little bit more time and came up with better default settings. At the same time, because this camera is so highly configurable, you should be able to find settings you will like relatively easy, which makes it a really nice camera. So we saw performance of the camera during the daylight, but what about night performance? Let's look at some night FPV footage and talk about it a little bit more. So as you can see, image is black and white with a lot of graining and noise on the picture. Although you can see a lot of details, there are still some areas which are completely black. It seems to take a couple of seconds for the camera to adjust for changing light conditions. It should be okay when you are simply cruising around, but might be a problem in case of fast flying. So as a conclusion, I would say, although Foxeer requires a bit of time in order to get perfect settings for yourself, it is still a really nice FPV camera for the light FPV racing drone, which will allow you even fly during the night. Okay, thank you for watching my review of Foxeer Predator Micro FPV camera. I hope you enjoyed it and find it useful. Please leave a comments below and let me know what do you think about this product, and if you have any other questions. You will find links to this camera in the description below. Okay guys, in order to give you an even better idea about this camera, I left a bonus FPV footage for you to check.